Make sure everyone's pretty going. Hawa, Hawa, the Thamanawa, Hashawapar, Kaya, Kwara'a, Amka, La, Hamawa Aidium, Wala, Hamakwara'ayim. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us your shofar to call your people to your feast and convocations. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. So everyone here agrees that this is the covenant and the laws of our ancestors before they arrived in America and before they arrived in Africa. Khan? Khan? Everyone agrees that this is the covenant that Yahweh made with our fathers. Khan? And everyone agrees that these books of the Torah, this scroll, this Sapar, prophesies of the rise, the fall, and the redemption of the children of Yasha'Allah. Khan? And it prophesies of the arrival of the son of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach throughout the Tawadah. Khan? Barakatah Yahweh, Ahawa'ah, Natalanawa, Hatawadah, Kaya, Shemai, La, Kohalka. Blessed are you, Yahweh, that gives us your law, that gives us your Torah to obey your voice. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, Shabkam, seated. Okay, so this is the Shabath. This is the seventh day of the week, which is the Shabath. This is the 25th day of the 13th month, and right now we're in we have 6 more days until we reach the first month of the new year. All right, we have 19 more days and 19 more afternoons until we reach the day of Passover. All right. And then we have 20 more nights until we reach the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Khan? All right, so these are holy days for Yasha'Allah. The Passover this year is going to be on the Gentile calendar, saying April 18th to April 19th, Passover Feast of Unleavened Bread. The new year this year will begin on April, so-called April 4th on the Gentile, on your Gregorian calendars. On the Hebrew calendar, however, it will be the inferior conjunction of the moon, the next inferior conjunction of the moon and the sun and the earth, all right, going into the first constellation of Ayal, so-called Aries. Khan? All right, so we're on the Torah portion, Shemini, which covers Leviticus chapter 9, verse 1 to Leviticus chapter 11, verse 47. And I'm going to start the reading today. First of all, we want to understand that our people, our ancestors, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Indians, North American Indians, in North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean, are the 12 tribes of Israel, those of so-called Negro descent, and those of so-called Latino, indigenous descent also. All right, we represent Mashara Yasha'Allah, which is the government of Israel, to unite our people across the 4 corners of the earth in the Torah, the laws and the commandments of Yahweh, and in Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son of Yahweh, who he sent to die for our sins. Khan? All right. So to get started, we're reading from the Stone Edition Chumash, All right, so I'm just a Kumash with the Targum and Rashi's commentary, but we'll just read from the straight English text. All right, I'm going to read the first Aliyah, and I will be followed by Amadian and Aishaman to read the second Aliyah. All right, followed by Ariyasha and Matati or Ainatas to read the third Aliyah. All right, so I'm reading from Leviticus chapter 9, verses 1 through 16. It was the 8th day. Masha summoned Aharon and his sons and the elders of Yasharallah. He said to Aharon, take for yourself a young bull for a sin offering and a ram for an elevation offering, unblemished, and offer them before Yahweh. And the Banya Yasharallah did as follows. Take a he-goat for a sin offering, and a calf and a sheep in the first year, unblemished, for an elevation offering, and a bull and a ram for a feast offering to slaughter before Yahweh. And a meal offering mixed with oil, for today Yahweh appears to you. They took what Masha had commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and the entire assembly approached and stood before Yahweh. Masha said, this is the thing that Yahweh has commanded you to do. Then the glory of Yahweh will appear to you. Masha said to Aaron, come near to the altar and perform the service of your sin offering and your elevation offering, and provide atonement for yourself and for the people. Then perform the service of the people's offering and provide atonement for them, for Yahweh as Yahweh has commanded. Aaron came near the altar and slaughtered the sin offering calf that was his. The sons of Aaron brought blood to him. He dipped his finger in the blood and placed it upon the horns of the altar. He poured the remaining blood upon the foundation of the altar, as the fat and the kidney and the diaphragm and the liver, with the liver with the sin offering. He caused to go up in smoke on the altar, as Yahweh had commanded Moses. And the flesh and the hide he burnt in fire outside the camp. He slaughtered the elevation offering. The sons of Aaron presented the blood to him and threw it upon the altar all around. They presented the elevation offering to him in its pieces with its head, and he caused it to go up in smoke on the altar. He washed the innards and the feet and caused them to go up in smoke on the elevation offering of the altar. He brought near the offering of the people. He took the sin offering goat that was for the people and slaughtered it and performed the sin offering service. As for the first one, he brought near the elevation offering and performed its service according to the law. Right, see what it says according to the law in the Hebrew it says Ka Mashapat. According it says as judgment, right? It says as judgment, Ka Mashapat. All right, okay, Mashapat. All right, so this is the conclusion of my aliyah of the first aliyah, this Parashah of Shemini. All right, and when we read this on the Shabath, remember, we don't go into a whole bunch of details on the Shabath with a lot of these different the 7 aliyah that we read, or aliyot, the 7 aliyot or aliyawat that we read, because we go into so much details every day on the Shabbat. So when we come on the Shabbat, we just read it, and if there's anything we need to bring out to give more details, then that's what we do. But you have to make sure that you yourself are reading and gaining understanding of each aliyah during the week. All right. So when you read all of the aliyot together on the Shabbat, we've already been reading each one on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th day, and sometime on the 6th day we'll double up and read 6 and 7. And then once we do that, and then Shabath comes in, and we have the reading of the reading of the Torah. Then what we do is kind of just read through it. All right. So you have to get it during the week if you want the fine details. If we brought out fine details like we do every day when we read the other aliyot, if we broke it down like we did during the week, we'd be for 7 hours. All right. So that's why we break it up during the week, and then when we come on Shabbat, we just read it and get in, get out, read the whole thing, and then we can move on. All right. We can discuss it. Have a midrash about it when everything is done. All right, so the next reader come up. Amadwa, Barakwa, Yabaraka Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, he's going to read chapters 9, verses 17 through 23. 7 whole verses. All right.
Leviticus chapter 9, verse 17. He brought near the meal offering, filled his palm in from it, and caused it to go up in smoke on the altar. Aside from the morning elevation offering, he slaughtered the bull and the ram, the people's feast peace offerings. The son of Aharon presented the blood to him, and he threw it upon the altar all around it. As for the fats from the bull and from the ram, and the tail, the covering fats, the kidneys, and the different ram with the liver, they placed the fats upon the breast and caused the fats to go up in smoke on the altar. Aharon lifted up the breast and the right thigh as a wave sacrifice before Yahweh, as Moshe had commanded. Aharon raised his hands toward the people and blessed them, and then he descended from it, having performed the sin offering, the elevation offering, and the peace offering. Moshe and Aharon came to the tent of meeting, and they went out and blessed the people, and the glory of Yahweh appeared to the entire people.
That's it. All right, so that's the conclusion of Amaria's reading for the Shabbat, second Aliyah. All right.
Parashah 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 Barak Yabarakakami Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Yabarakaka Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
24 through Leviticus chapter 10, verse 11. A fire went forth from before Yahweh and consumed upon the altar the elevation offering and the fat. The people saw and sang a glad song and fell upon their faces. Kashara, Bar Yahweh, Na'isha,
Wanashama.
All that Yahweh said,
has said,
what are we doing here?
What we doing here. Let me say something real quick. It says that they were you said it said that they sang songs. Did you say that in the Hebrew? It said like Shayard or something. Let me see. Some people saw. We got an Akal Ha'im. This says rejoice. This doesn't say sang. This is Wayaranwa, which means like rejoice or be happy. It doesn't say anything about a song. It says Wayaranwa, then it says Wayapalwa Ail Panyaham, and they fell on their faces. So it says Wa'atha. It says Wayara'ak Hal Ha'im, and saw all the people. And it says Wayaranwa Wayapalwa Ail Panyaham. So it says the people kind of like Ranan, like a rejoicing. All right. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you why I want to point that out, because how it makes a big difference, because rejoicing is different. But when it says they all sang a song together, that would give the intention of a lot more unity, of a strong, rich cultural heritage background through song that they were sharing together with each other. You know what I'm saying? Before these events transpired, which still may have happened, but in this particular instance, is not referring to that the culture of song that's a part of Yasha Allah history. It's referring to just them, rejoicing. So we have to be very careful sometimes, even when we're reading from a Kumash that has the Hebrew in it, because it could be translating something out of more of a feeling, as opposed to more of a giving you the feeling of the words. They want to give you the feeling of they want to give you this feeling of the atmosphere, but we have to get the feeling of the words first, and we don't have to add to the feeling of those words in order to create a different type of background in the atmosphere. Everybody understand what I'm saying? In other words, the scripture says they were rejoicing, they were happy, Ranan, which means to rejoice or to be happy. All right, doesn't mean to sing songs. Sing songs so that everything was more coordinated. The people they knew the words. All right, they may have had music for it. All right, they were familiar with the words, or the words passed throughout all of the people at the same time, so they all knew it. So it gives a whole different set of understanding. All right, so we have to stick with what the Hebrew text says. The Hebrew text says they were rejoicing, they were happy. We can't add to that text nor take away, right? Lest we were found guilty of violating the Torah, which says don't add to his law and don't take away from his law. So be very careful when you're reading what the English is saying. That's why you need to, be familiar with the Hebrew. I looked at this, I read it one time in the English and it said that, but I wasn't really comfortable with how he read it just now. It didn't really, it didn't really click in my spirit, because I was thinking it was saying something else, like, oh, they were singing. And I was going to make the point of, okay, well, they were rejoicing. They were all on the same page. They knew this song. They had a relationship together, and they had a thick and rich cultural history of a culture of song, which we did, but not in this particular instance. So this can't be used to make that point. You see what I'm saying? Now, maybe that point can be made, elsewhere, as we know we could learn songs easily back then. We had a very oral, we had a very strong oral culture back then. All right. Go ahead.
Kalshra,
Let me get it.
Leviticus chapter 10, verse 1. The sons of Aharon, Nadab and Abihu, each took his fire pan. They put fire in them and placed incense upon it. And they brought before Yahweh an alien fire that he had not commanded them. A fire came forth from before Yahweh and consumed them, and they died before Yahweh. Moshe said to Aharon, Of this did Yahweh speak, saying, I will be sanctified through those who are nearest me. Thus I will be honored before the entire people. And Aharon was silent. Moshe summoned Mishael and Elzaphan, the sons of Aharon's uncle Uzziah, and said to them, Approach, carry your brothers out of the sanctuary to the outside of the camp. They approached and carried them by their tunics to the outside of the camp, as Moshe had spoken. Moshe said to Aharon and to his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, Do not leave your heads unshorn, and do not rend your garments, that you not die, and he become wrathful with the entire assembly, and your brethren.
In other words, the Most High is saying is don't mourn their death. Don't mourn for the death of these men that just died. Was it Abihu and Ithamar, right? Nadab, Salakia. Nadab and Abihu. Don't mourn for their death. All right? Like, no, you're just putting me Argentina. All right, don't cry for these brothers. All right? Because they died due to disobedience or due to stepping outside their boundaries. Go ahead.
Do not leave the entrance of the tent of meeting, lest you die, for Yahweh's oil of anointment is upon you. And they carried out Moshe's bidding. Yahweh spoke to Aharon, saying, "Do not drink intoxicating wine, you and your sons with you, when you come to the tent of meeting, that you not die. This is an eternal decree for your generations, in order to distinguish between the sacred and the profane, and between the contaminated and the pure."
Break it down. Give us understanding.
The Nadab and Abihu, which were two of Aharon's sons, they got a pan and they got some incense. They lit some incense too. They gave it to Yahweh, but Yahweh didn't command them to do that, so he killed those two.
And that shows you, like, when you trying to do something sanctified to the Most High and try to present something that's holy to the Most High, and you yourself are operating out of order with the Most High don't accept that, man. He don't accept that. He accepts stuff that's done decently and in order. So a lot of these different Israelite organizations, bodies, and camps and stuff that set up, the Most High don't accept that stuff, man. It ain't set up in order with the Most High. It ain't set up in order with the structure of our people, of our elders, of Israel. A lot of people just wake up and think they're going to go off and do their own thing. And they say they under somebody, but they're really under themselves. And they got other men up under them. And that's wicked and evil before the Most High, man. You see what I'm saying? That's not right before the Most High. So we see these brothers try to operate doing something outside of what they were commanded, outside of their office. The Most High struck them down dead. So you got to move in order with the Most High.
Masha told Aharon that they had died, and they told him not to bring something that Yahweh didn't want them to do. If Yahweh didn't tell them to do it, don't bring it to them. And Aharon was silent. And then Masha got Aharon's uncle Uziel and his two sons to get the bodies of the Nadab and Abihu and bring them outside of the camp. And then he told Ithamar and Eleazar and Aharon not to rend their clothes, not to rip their garments, and to shave their head.
Understand? Break down what that's talking about,
man. When the people rip their clothes or shave their head or put ashes on them, it was when something sad happened to them, like somebody died.
Okay. So Yahweh was saying what?
He was telling them not to cry over their death.
So he's saying their death ain't even worth you crying about. Don't even stress it. And Aharon, he was the truth. Like, okay, let's move on. But he did say, well, I'm not gonna eat this offering though. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe his spirit wasn't really settled about it. Going to the when Yahweh was talking about the alcohol, the distinction between the profane and the clean, and give us understanding on that.
When he said not to drink alcohol, he didn't want them to get drunk off the vent, so they couldn't get a lot of wine, excessive amounts of wine, because that would get them poisoning and make them unholy. Basically,
what kind of poisoning?
They would poison their spirit since they were drunk and their mind was unclear.
Okay, I thought you mean wine poisoning, alcohol poisoning, or something. When you say poison, you mean pollute, not poison like cyanide or somebody eating acid or something, right? You mean poison pollute their minds and their spirits. Not like poison call. You mean poison call 911? What you're talking about, you go to the hospital poisoning, or you mean poisoning their spirit, their mind not really functioning?
Their spirit not functioning.
All right, so. All right, my turn now. Parashah ban Zayatan ban Gad ban Yasha'Allah.
Ahmad 1, Barak 1.
Yabarakatam Yahweh Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai.
Yabarakatam Yahweh Hashem HaMashiach.
All right, so I'm in Aliyah number 4, which is only Leviticus chapter 10, verse 12 through 15. Masha spake to Aharon and to Eleazar and Ithamar, his remaining sons, take a meal offering that is left from the fire offering of Yahweh, and eat it unleavened near the altar, for it is most holy, and ye shall eat it in a holy place, for it is your portion and the portion of your sons from the fire offerings of Yahweh. So have I been commanded. And the breast of the waving and the thigh of the raising up, you shall eat in a pure, tahar, clean place, you and your sons and daughters with you, for they have been given as your portion and the portion of your sons from the peace offerings of the Banya Yasha'Allah B'nai Yisrael. They are to bring the thigh of the raising up and the breast of the waving upon the fire offering fats to wave as a wave service before Yahweh. And it shall be for you and your sons with you for an eternal decree as Yahweh has commanded. Okay, so here we see that they had the offering, and the Most High gave the offering to Aaron and his sons for the meal offering and the fire offerings to eat the bread. The bread was most holy. However, when you're talking about the breast, all right, which is like the shoulder part and everything, when we talk about that, that could be eaten in a pure place. It didn't have to be eaten in a holy place. And the Levitical priest's daughters could eat that also. And Shalom Sa'adiyah, all right, blessings, health, wisdom, joy to you all also, all right. It's on Yom Rishon over there in Eretz Yisrael, and it's still Yom Shabbat over here in Mexico. All right, so when you would offer it before them, and then they could eat it. Aaron and his sons could eat these particular foods, but his daughters could eat them also. His daughters could eat them also. All right. If that daughter was not married to a Levite, a priest, she could not eat it. If that daughter had a child, if that daughter had been married and she returned to her father's house because she was divorced, or because she was a widow and her husband died, then she didn't have no children, she can come back to her father's house then, and then she could eat the offering also. But if she had children, all right, she couldn't eat it once she got divorced or once she was widowed. But if she was married to a priest and she had children and she was at her father's house, she could eat the food. But if she had children or didn't have children and she was just visiting her father, let's say she's married, all right, and she's not married to a Levite, she couldn't eat that food at all. All right. So the woman had to be married to a priest, or she had to be a single daughter, or she had to be a divorced or a divorced or a widowed daughter without any children. So that's how the daughters can eat. We read about this when we go into Leviticus chapter 22. It gives us more details about it. All right. So next reader, Amadian and Aishaman. Amadwa, Barakwa, Yabarakakam Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
Leviticus chapter 10, verse 16 to 20. Moshe inquired insistently about the he-goat of the sin offering, for behold, it had been burnt, and he was wrathful with Eleazar and Ithamar, Aharon's remaining sons, saying, why did you not eat the sin offering in the place of holiness, for it is most holy? And he gave it to you to gain forgiveness for the sin of the assembly, and to atone for them before Yahweh. Behold, his blood was not brought into the sanctuary within. You should have eaten it and been holy, as I had commanded. Aharon spoke to Moshe. Was it they who this day offered their sin offering and their elevation offering before Yahweh? Now that such things befall me, were I to eat this day's sin offering, would Yahweh approve? Moshe heard it, and he approved it. And called Sarah, the Bar Yahweh, Na'isha, Menashemai. All Yahweh said,
All Yahweh said,
what we're doing here.
we're doing here. You're right. You're right. You all right? So you all right though? You ready? Yeah. It's all right.
Parashah Parashah God Parashah.
Barak.
Yabakatani Habashim Yasha.
Ya barakaka Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1 through 32. Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aharon, saying to them, Speak to the children of Yasha'Allah, saying, These are the creatures that you may eat from among all the animals that are upon the earth. Everything among the animals that has a split hoof, which is completely separated into double hoofs, and that bring up its cud, that one you may eat. But this is what you shall not eat from among those that bring up their cud or that have split hoofs. The camel, for it bring up its cud, but its hoof is not split, it is unclean to you. And the hyrax, for it brings up its cud, but its hoof is not split, it is unclean to you. And the hare, for it brings up its cud, but its hoof is not split, it is unclean to you. And the pig, for its hoof is split, and its hoof is completely separated, but it does not chew its cud, it is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor shall you touch their carcass. They are unclean to you. This may you eat from everything that is in the water, everything that has fins and scales in the water, and in the seas and in the streams. Those may you eat, and everything that does not have skin or fins and scales in those seas and in the streams, from all that teems in the water, and from all living creatures in the water, they are an abomination to you. They shall remain an abomination to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, and you shall not abominate their carcass. Everything that does not have fins and scales in the water is an abomination to you. These shall you abominate from among the birds. They may not be eaten. They are an abomination. The Nesher and the Perez and the Osnia, the Da'ah and the Ayah, according to its kind, every Orev according to its kind, the Bas Yanah, the Takmos, the Shekaf, and the nets according to its kind, the Kos, the Shalak, the Yanchuf, and the Tinshemis, and the Kas, and the Rakam, and the Kash Sidan, and the Anafa according to its kind, the Du Kifas, and the Atalef. Every flying teeming creature that walks on four legs, it is an abomination to you. Only this may you eat from among all flying teeming creatures that walk on four legs, one that has jumping legs above its legs, with which to spring upon the earth. You may eat these from among them, the Arba according to its kind, the Salam according to its kind, the Cargo according to its kind, and the Shagav according to its kind. Every flying teeming thing that has four legs and is an abomination to you.
So the thing we can't eat is red. That's the cricket. Or that's the locust, the cricket, and the grasshopper. And those species we can eat.
Verse 24, you become contaminated through the following. Anyone who touches their carcass becomes contaminated until the evening, and anyone who carries their carcass shall immerse his clothing and be contaminated until the evening. Every animal that has split hooves that are not completely split, or does not chew its cud, they are contaminated to you. Whoever touches them shall become contaminated, and everyone who walks on its paws among all the animals that walk on four legs, they are contaminated to you. Whoever touches their carcass shall be contaminated until the evening. One who carries their carcass shall immerse his clothing and be contaminated until the evening. They are contaminated to you. These are the contaminated ones among the teeming animals that teem upon the earth: the Koled, the Akbar, and the Tzav, according to its variety, the Anaka, and the Koak, and the Latah, and the Komet, and the Tinshims. Only these are contaminated to you among all the teeming animals. Anyone who touches them when they are dead shall be contaminated until the evening. And when they are dead, anything upon which part of them will fall shall become contaminated, whether it is a wooden utensil, a garment, leather, or sackcloth. Any utensil with which shall be brought into the water and remain contaminated until evening, and then become cleansed.
Explain the beasts. How you can eat.
The beasts that ones that have 4 legs and they have a foot like this, and then they have like 2 little ones like this, So it's like
At the bottom of the leg.
at the bottom, like the back of the bottom of their leg. That's the one that we can eat.
And what they eat.
And they have to have like a chambered stomach. They have to, when they swallow they have a 4-chambered stomach. They have to swallow their food and then they spit it back up and chew it again. They have to do that. They repeat that cycle 4 times. That's the one that we can eat. And then like a cow or a deer, those are animals that we can't eat. And then the birds that we can eat are the ones that aren't like predators, or the ones that don't feed off the corpses. Like the ones that we can't eat are vultures or ravens or eagles or hawks. Those are the ones that we can't eat. Like the ones that we can't eat, since they just eat like bugs. We can eat chickens and turkeys and like robins or pigeons. Those are the ones that we can't eat.
Pheasant. Grouse. Guinea fowl. Peacocks.
And then we can't eat any reptiles or amphibians. And then with the fish, we can only eat the ones that have fins and scales, like the salmon or the tuna or snapper or tilapia. Those are the ones that we can't eat.
And by the way, tilapia is a real species, even though people may be doing some type of breeding with them. But tilapia is an ancient species of fish from the Blue Nile in Africa. So it's an ancient fish. It's not a fish that they created in the laboratory like a lot of urban legends allege. But the tilapia is a real breed of fish, and it's an ancient breed, and it wasn't created by anybody inside of a laboratory, as people sometimes try to say.
And when an animal falls, like a dead animal falls into like a food or like a plate or clothes or a bag of sackcloth, then you have to put it in water until the evening, and then because it's unclean until the evening, and then you can take it out.
Right. Right. Yeah. Parashah ban zayatan ban gad ban yasharala.
Magla, Rockwan,
Yabaraka kam Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Yarakatay, Howard, Bashir, Shah.
All right, so this is the 7th Aliyah of the 7 Aliyot, the last Aliyah for the Shabath. All right, this is going to be Leviticus chapter 11, verse 33 through 47. Any earthenware vessel into whose interior one of them will fall, everything in it shall become contaminated, and you shall break it. Of any food that is edible, upon which water cometh, shall become contaminated. And any beverage that can be drunk in any vessel shall become tama'ah, contaminated, unclean. Anything upon which part of their carcass may fall shall be contaminated, An oven or a stove shall be smashed. They are contaminated, and they shall remain contaminated to you. Only a spring or a cistern, a gathering of water, shall remain pure. But one who touches their carcass shall become matama'ah, contaminated. And if their carcass will fall upon any edible seed that has been planted, it remains pure. But if water has been placed upon a seed, and then their carcass falls upon it, it is contaminated to you. If any animal that you may eat has died, one who touches its carcass shall become contaminated until evening. And one who eats from its carcass shall immerse his clothing and remain contaminated until evening. And one who carries its carcass shall immerse his clothing and remain tama'ah, contaminated, unclean until evening. Every teeming creature that teems upon the ground, it is an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Everything that creeps on its belly, and everything that walks on four legs, even on those with numerous legs, among all the teeming things that teem upon the earth, you may not eat them, for they are an abomination. Do not make your souls abominable by means of any teeming thing. Do not contaminate yourself through them, lest you become contaminated through them. For I am Yahweh Elohim. You shall sanctify yourselves, and you will be holy, for I am holy. And you shall not contaminate your souls through any teeming thing that creeps on the earth. For I am Yahweh, who elevates you from the land of Matazadium to be your Elohim, to be a Elohim unto you. You shall be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the animal, the bird, every living creature that swarms in the waters, and every creature that teems upon the ground, to distinguish between the contaminated and the pure, and between the creature that may be eaten and the creature that may not be eaten. Kalashara, the body Yahweh, not Aisha, or not Shemai. All that Yahweh has said, what we do in here. Just to recall on this, this tells us that any water, whether it's from a dishwasher, from a sink, from a container, when any unclean animal touches any water, the dead animal touches any water, like pig, shrimp, lobster, crab, snails, all right, frog legs, alligator, crocodile, scallops, lobster. If any unclean animals touches water, like in a dishwasher at a restaurant, for example, and that water gets on anything else that came from the earth, like a metal fork, like a glass drinking vessel, or like a ceramic or a clay plate in your house, in a restaurant, in your family's place, all right? Or if their carcass comes upon the stove, or if the carcass comes upon an oven, or if the carcass comes upon anything that's made out of the earthen that comes from the earth, all right, that from the soil, like iron, aluminum, clay, glass, which is made out of sand. If it touches any of those things, Yahweh has said that those things must be broken, destroyed, and they can't be used again. All right, which means a lot of the restaurants out here are not supposed to be, we can't go to a lot of these restaurants. Even in the land of Israel, a lot of places are not kosher for us to eat at, because the duck and the goose are not clean birds that we can eat. They're not tahar. They're tama'ah for us. So a lot of the Europeans that call themselves Jews, they eat, all right, duck and goose. And Yahweh said we can't eat the duck and the goose. He named three kinds of birds we can't eat: those that feed on carrion, or those that feed on corpses, habitually and regularly; those that are birds of prey and attacking birds; such as eagles, hawks, or owls, and also those that are waterfowl, all right, such as the stork, such as the heron, all right, such as a penguin, and also such as a duck and a goose. These are waterfowls that we cannot eat. All right. So we can't go to restaurants where they serve these foods. We can't drink from cups, plates, or use utensils that serve these foods. And we can't eat off of any stoves or any ovens that serve these foods. They have to be what? They have to be destroyed to prevent anyone else from contaminating, because Yahweh says that these things contaminate your soul. The scripture says your soul. All right. When we go back and we look into and we look at it said the word napash, verse 43. It says, do not make your souls abominable. It says la'ah. It says al, which is another form of napastayakam. All right, so our souls don't make, so these things have an effect on our souls that we don't know about, because we're not really focused on what's happened to our soul. We just focus on, oh, it's unclean, or I'm in captivity. Well, you got to decide whether you want your soul to be pure and cleaner before the Most High, or whether you want your soul to become unclean and impure before the Most High and have your belly full. All right. Would you want your belly full, or want your soul to be cleansed before the Most High, to be clean before the Most High? All right. Now, if that same unclean animal drops into like a spring or a big old water holding place, then it says that it's still clean. All right. If it gets on seeds, we read that already, so we can understand all of those things already. So that's pretty much it. Next, we go to the Haftarah, which is going to be Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 16 through 36. Okay. Just have the next reader come up. Get ready to come up. This ain't no Shabath Rosh Kodesh. And let's see. All right, so come on up. The floor is yours. Uh, 36, 16 through 36. 16 to 38. Let's see, 36. Actually, we have for this Haftarah, we have and here we have Ezekiel, and we have 2 Samuel 6 and 1. But we'll go ahead and roll with the one from the one that's in the Stone of This and Kumash is different than what we have on TorahPortion.org. I don't know which one they used to get that from, but we're gonna go ahead and just read it out of the Standard Bible. And you can increase and I can decrease. So Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 16 through 38.
Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 16. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, When the house of Yasharallah dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings.
See, now the Most High talks about defiling ourselves with these foods, not only defiling our flesh, but also defiling our souls. All right. Go ahead.
Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
The uncleanness of a what?
Of a removed woman.
Of a woman when she has her period. When the blood starts coming out of her, the Most High says that that's how he felt about us. All right. Which means he wasn't like, oh, how you feeling, baby? Are you okay? You need some tea? He was like, okay, y'all over there, I'm over there. All right. So this is what Yahweh was saying about being on your cycle. All right. It's a place to kind of be alone and be apart from everybody. Read.
Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that was shed upon their land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way, and according to their doings I judged them. And when they entered into
Read that again. I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. According to their ways, I judged them. And that's why you got certain brothers that's addicted to drugs. Certain brothers that come into who they are and just go full force. Certain brothers come into the history in Yasha'Allah, and that's all they care about. They want to argue. That's a punishment from the Most High. When you can't get into this truth and just decide to keep your word and keep your covenant and obey Yahweh's commandments, that's a curse and a punishment from the Most High, man. And that's your flesh being weak. So the Most High say you're gonna do what? Punish what? Read that part again.
according to their way and according to their doings I judge them.
According to their ways and doings, I judge them. That means the judgment that you have in this life is according to the ways, your ways, the ways of your fathers. You're being punished now for what you did, or you're being rewarded for what you did. So the Most High is punishing everybody according to their ways. And that's why if you're being punished, okay, according to your ways, it's easy for some of us to be like, you know, man, I'm going to keep his commandments. But then it may be difficult for somebody to keep the commandments, but it's easy for them to, you know, get people to follow their organization or their body. All right, go ahead.
And when they entered into the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for my holy name, which was the house of Yahweh, had profaned among the heathen, whither they went.
So when we went into India, when we went into Iraq, when we went into Iran, when we went into Saudi Arabia, when we went into Turkey as slaves, and we still knew who we were, we profaned Yahweh's holy name. We polluted his name. We were doing things and saying things we shouldn't have been doing and saying. Go ahead.
Therefore say unto the house of Yahweh, thus saith Adonai Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Yahweh, but for my holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them.
Now remember, now he sanctified his name and showed his power when it came to, you know, the sons of Aaron, Abihu and Nadab, right? And he killed them. So I could go both ways. Either you're gonna sanctify by raising you up, or you can sanctify by killing. Which one you want the Most High to do for you? You want him to sanctify his name in you by making an example of you? Or you want him to sanctify his name in you by lifting you up and by elevating you? Go ahead.
And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith Adonai Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
For I will take you from among the heathen.
Now this one is talking about what? This one is talking about the sanctification that comes from him doing good toward us and raising us up, showing his power. Read.
And gather you out of all countries.
Gather us where?
Out of all countries.
Out of India?
All countries.
America?
All countries.
Brazil?
All countries.
Peru?
all countries,
Argentina,
all countries,
Jamaica,
all countries,
Haiti,
all countries,
Dominican Republic,
all countries,
Puerto Rico,
all countries,
Mexico,
all countries,
Canada,
all countries,
Belize,
all countries,
Guatemala,
all countries,
Panama,
all countries,
Colombia,
all countries,
Venezuela,
all countries,
Guyana,
all countries,
French Guyana,
all countries,
Suriname,
all countries,
Chile,
all countries,
Guadeloupe.
all countries,
You hear them parrots. Guadeloupe,
all countries,
okay. From all countries. Turkey,
all countries,
Morocco,
all countries,
Sudan,
all countries,
Nigeria,
all countries,
Kenya,
all countries,
Saudi Arabia,
all countries,
Kuwait,
all countries,
Oman.
all countries,
Read that again. I will what?
and gather you out of all countries,
What did he say?
gather you,
No, a man's going to do it. What did he say?
I will take you from among the heathen,
No, we're going to do it ourselves.
I will take you from among the heathen,
No, somebody going to be in Israel saying we got to come back and follow them.
I will take you from among the heathen,
Yahweh says he will what?
take you,
See, Yahweh says he's going to take us from among the heathen. So if you want to go to Israel and go and visit, that's fine. But by no stretch of the imagination, think that by you going to Israel or by you going to the Middle East is you raising Israel up to go back over there. Understand? So don't be deceived by somebody saying, you got to come here, you got to live here, it's time to come back, the captivity is over. Once Yahweh does something, ain't no dispute about it. Who can argue about the firstborn being killed in Egypt? Who can argue about that? Who can argue about us walking through the sea? Who can argue about everybody getting, all of the Hamites in Egypt getting smitten with boils and all kind of sores on it? Who can argue with that? Who can argue with the hail and the fire falling from the sky? Who can argue with that? Who can argue with Yahweh gathering us? See, there's two gatherings. There's three gatherings. Gathering of the leadership. Then there's the gathering of the leadership to gather the people. And then there's Yahweh's gathering of everybody from everywhere back to the land. So Yahweh says, I will what?
I will gather you from all the countries,
I will gather. I will gather. I will gather. I will gather from where?
all countries,
Read that again, man. That gives me that makes me happy. That part makes me happy. Okay, I gotta get on. I gotta share my happiness with everybody. So he said, I will what? I will do what? Read that part again.
and gather you out of all countries,
He's going to gather us from where?
all countries,
From Turkey,
all countries,
America,
all countries,
North, Central, South America, and the Caribbean,
all countries,
continent of Africa where we've been scattered,
all countries,
all throughout Asia where we've been scattered,
all countries,
all throughout the Middle East where we've been scattered in slavery, Iraq and Iran, from the time of 722 BC.
all countries,
Some of us came into the Americas.
all countries,
You see that? And there's only one main spot on the planet that Yahshua really hasn't gone to wake up our people. And that spot is Asia. Asia. And you got, kind of the eastern part. East of Germany, ain't nothing cracking. East of Germany ain't nothing really happening. I got no brother in Spain. I don't know no brothers in Rome. I don't know no brothers in Greece. I don't know no brothers in the 7 churches of Asia Minor in Western Asia, right on their coastal area. No brothers in Turkey. I don't know no brothers I know brothers that went down to Egypt and Jordan, those places, but I don't know no brothers down in Kuwait to go to Yashar Allah. I don't know no brothers down in Iran and Iraq to go to Yashar Allah, in Basra. All right, Tehran, Baluchistan, Pakistan. Okay, why y'all forgetting about the Israelites in the east, man? Right? See, you got in the Most High. I woke up this morning, man. The Most High put this thing on my spirit real heavy. Well, I ain't gonna say the Most High. Well, he does everything, but wisdom, Kakma, I know she got something to do with it. Cotton put this thing on my spirit real heavy, that when Yahushua was in Jerusalem, all right, when it was in Jerusalem, and they were going from different parts of Jerusalem, that was not the highways. The highways is when you're traversing major distances to carry our people this word of Yahweh. That's what it's talking about when the scripture says, go to the highways. A lot of brothers ain't going on highways. You going, catching a bus and going about maybe 5, 6, 8 stops away, a half-hour drive, or going to some part of town, and you spreading all over a highway is a main road that takes you over a long distance. So when you go to the highways and you go to the byways, you traveling on these roads. You traveling on these roads, man, and you waking up our people as you travel along these roads. And there's some brothers that have gone on these highways to go over these roads. But we won't get distracted from the Torah portion. Let's go back and finish reading what that said. Read that verse again.
I will take you from among the heathen.
I will do what?
Take you from among the heathen.
So Yahweh is going to take us from wherever we've been scattered among the heathen, man. Any country. Read.
And gather you out of.
And I will gather you. I will gather you. Read.
Out of all countries.
Out of all countries. Read.
And will bring you into your own land.
And then he's going to bring us into our own land. You see, we can't try to do the thing we can't try to do the same thing that so-called white man did. He said, our time is up. It's time to go back to Israel. And you see how the Most High jacking him up in that land over there. And then we saying, oh, our time is up. We're going to go back to Israel. If you want to go to Israel to visit for the holy day, that's fine. But by no stretch of your imagination, think that is, you going to Israel is Yahweh gathering us from all the lands where he scattered us and putting us back in our land. That's not what's happening. That's you deciding you want to go back to your homeland. Okay, go ahead.
Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you.
Yahweh say, then he's going to sprinkle clean water on us. Then what's the clean water mean? The clean water means he's going to sanctify and purify us. And the water also represents what? The water represents life. The water represents a full understanding and completion within Yahushua HaMashiach also. So Yahweh is going to take us from all of the places we've been scattered at on the whole globe. And he's going to sprinkle us with this water and cleanse us. And we see in Ephesians 5:26, the washing of water by the word. All right. So we're gonna have a full understanding of his word also. All right, read.
And ye shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols.
So all of the uncleanness we have in us now, all the idolatry, we're gonna be cleansed from all of that. Read.
Will I cleanse you?
Uh-huh.
A new heart also will I give you,
Mm-hmm.
and a new spirit will I put within you,
Mm-hmm.
and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. I will also save you from all your uncleanness. I will call for the corn, and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. And I will multiply the fruit of the tree, the increase of the field, that you receive no more. Then shall you remember your own evil ways, and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for your iniquities and your abominations. Not for your sakes do I this, saith Yahweh. Be it known unto you, be ashamed and confounded for your own ways.
Mm-hmm.
O house of Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
thus saith Adonai Yahweh, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be builded, and the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by. You shall say that it is become like the Garden of Eden, and this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden.
So the Most High didn't say, he said this land that is desolate is become like the Garden of Eden. Meaning Israel's going to start to bloom and blossom. Read.
And the waste and desolate and
Mm-hmm.
desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Then the heathen that are left round about you shall know that I, Yahweh, built the ruined places
Mm-hmm.
and plant that was desolate.
So Yahweh's going to have these ruined places built up again. Well, go ahead.
I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and I will do it. Thus saith Adonai Yahweh, I will yet for this be inquired of by the house of Yahshua.
Mm-hmm.
To do it for them, I will increase them with men like a flock. As Yahweh, as the holy flock, as the flock of Jerusalem in her solemn feast, so shall the waste cities be filled with the flocks of men, that they shall know that I am Yahweh.
All right. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So the Most High is going to really bring us back into our land. The land's going to be filled with our people. And we're going to be everywhere over there. And the Most High is going to protect us. The food is going to be growing. The flowers and the trees, grass is going to be beautifully blooming all over the land of Israel when he puts us back over there. Okay? All right, so let's go into the Yahweh Shai scriptures. Matthew chapter 3, verse 11 through 17. You want to sit down? Matthew chapter 3, verse 11 through 17. And we almost will be done.
Matthew chapter 3, verse 11 through 17. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance.
So now the Most High said he was going to cleanse us with water, right? So we now see that the baptism, the water baptism, is a foreshadowing of what the Most High is going to do. Baptism is a foreshadow of Yahweh cleansing us with his word and bring us into the new covenant. That's what the baptism is. It symbolizes us being washed of our sins, washed of our old ways, and coming back into Yahweh. Go ahead.
But he that cometh after me is mightier than I.
So Yahweh Shai came after John. He's mightier than Yahweh. Yeah, he's mightier than John. Go ahead.
Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear.
Mm-hmm.
He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Spirit.
And with fire. Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor.
See, purge his floor, talking about a threshing floor. Now this goes back showing you that the house of that the person the threshing floor that was an Arnon that David bought from the guy, all right, in Mount Zion, is where the temple is near the temple area. Go ahead.
And gather his wheat into the garner,
Mm-hmm.
but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire.
Mm-hmm.
Then cometh Yahushua from Galilee to Jordan unto John.
Now John just got finished talking about him. Now here comes Yahushua. Go ahead.
To be baptized of him.
Yahushua can't be baptized of John, even though he was above John. He still had to operate what? Decently and in order. He still had to follow the protocol. Go ahead.
But John forbade him.
John said, "Nah, man, I don't want you baptizing me. You above me, man. Chill out." But Yahushua humbled himself to him. Go ahead.
Saying, I have need to be baptized of thee.
I need for you to baptize me, man. Stop tripping.
And comest thou to me? And Yahushua answering,
I need for you to baptize me, Yahushua, man. Stop tripping. You over me. You the man, not me. I'm just paving a way for you, making a way straight so people can be aware and know that you coming. So, man, you know, I need to get baptized by you, said John the Baptist to Yahushua, Yahushua the baptizer. Because he didn't want to baptize Yahushua. He wanted to just say, nah, you over me now. But he had to come in that way. All right? He had to come in that way. And that's what's happening with Masharai Yasha'Allah. A lot of brothers came in when we tried to form and put the government together as Masharai Yasha'Allah, but every brother ain't there for the right intentions. Every brother ain't dedicated and committed to doing it. Same thing happened in Yahushua's time. But it had to be done that way so that everything would be done decently and in order. But John and Yahushua are still on the same team. But now they just having this minor confrontation. Baptize me. And John like, no, I'm not baptizing you. So John's like, no. I'm supposed to be getting baptized by you, Yahushua. How you going to ask me? Go ahead.
Verse 15. And Yahushua answering said unto him, suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness. Then he suffered him.
So like, man, okay, look, just do it, man. Just entertain me, okay? Just do it. Go ahead.
And Yahushua, when he was baptized, went straightway out of the water.
So Yahushua went straight up out of the water. And that's kind of commenting on the baptism position also. If John the Baptist was like dunking them back, how did he go straight up in the water? He levitated up. So John the Baptist probably just squatted down to get baptized instead of gonna take you back. He probably just, squatted, like you would do before like a king or something, like probably just like that. And he came up straight away. He didn't go like this and come straight forward. He kind of went up. Right, go ahead.
And lo, the heavens were opened unto him.
So how Shemini was opened up. Go ahead.
And he saw the spirit of Elohim descending like a dove.
So this is the same type of thing that we saw when we first got finished with what? With the temple. With the tabernacle and with the Mishkan in the wilderness, the Mashakan, the tabernacle, the Mishkan. When we did the Mishkan in the wilderness, Yahweh opened up and showed us all of his glory to say, I'm happy with what y'all have done. Even though I had to kill a couple of cats, I ain't tripping. Y'all did good. So Yahushua wasn't mad at them two and then took it out on the whole, on everybody else. He said, you did something I didn't want you to do. I'm going to kill you. And you sit down, get out of my face, and you shut up. He ain't take it on everybody. And that's better than we do as human beings, because we'll be mad at one person and then one person do something wrong to us, and then we'll have an attitude with everybody else that's around. But Yahushua said, I'm going to kill you. I ain't asked for that fire. I didn't ask you to do them incense like that. Yes, y'all cool. Y'all go outside and play. Now, it's you. Come in. I want you. Go to that tree. Give me a switch. You come in. Rush, go ahead. Here goes some money. Go get y'all some ice cream. You come in. You ain't going nowhere. You see, that's how Yahweh, our Father, did. Remember, the Most High always said that He's going to chastise us like a man chastised his father. Like a man chastised his own son. Like a man that's a father chastises or punishes his children. That's how Yahweh does us. Right, go ahead.
And lighting upon him, and lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved son.
This is my beloved son. Go ahead.
In whom I am well pleased.
In whom I am well pleased. So that's what Yahweh said. All right. When Yahweh got baptized. All right. All right, so that's the Torah portion that we got for you today. All right. Once again, we coming out of the laws, commandments, and statutes of Yahweh. To bring our people back to repentance in the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and to bring our people back into covenant through the sacrifice, all right, that the Most High prophesied to us was going to happen, inside the Torah. He told us inside the Torah that He's going to bring our people, a prophet, and that prophet is going to, bring us back to the Father and show us and tell us the words of Yahweh. All right. So that's the Torah portion for today. You brothers that's been hanging in there, I thank you for the 75 minutes of your day that you shared with us. It means a lot. I love the laws and commandments of Yahweh. I love Yahweh Shai, and I love sharing both. I love sharing both with everybody. All right, anybody that wants to hear. All right, anybody that wants to hear. All right, so may Yahweh be with you. In the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. I think that's about anything else. All right, we'll do that. The very, 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 very. Once we say that, we always go into something different. Now Yahweh's will. We will be bringing you information, from Zion, from Israel, about the different discrepancies about where is the proper Jerusalem. All right. Shout out to Malachi Maccabees. All right, of honor and humility, STL, for his dedication to. We're going into the third. This is going into the third or fourth week for the Ibadiyah. We're going into the fourth week now for the Ibadiyah, and people are learning the Ibadiyah because of the dedication of Malachi Maccabees sticking in there week after week on the first day of the week, even though, everybody isn't always there all the time. We still appreciate his dedication to making sure that the people are understanding the Hebrew, as well as a lot of things that he's bringing out about Zion and about the land of Yasharallah. Hopefully once we get over there, we'll bring out some information, go to the actual sites, look at them, the measurements of distances between the colonnade and between Antonia, the southern wall of Fort Antonia, and then the wall of south of that. All right, check out Mount Moriah, and check out Mount Zion, and check out the Mount of Olives in those areas, and check out what's really going on, and then check out the hill, and then check out the mountains, and compare the differences in the environments and the differences in the heights, and look for the tunnels that Joab went into when they conquered Jerusalem. Joab went into a tunnel. Then we got another tunnel that Hezekiah built, all right, to divert the water from the Gihon springs. All right, so we want to check out all those types of things. We want to check Zion because the scripture says that the place where the temple lay, was going to be like a plowed field. And of course, you got to fill this plow. That means somebody eventually is going to come and try to plant something there. All right, we want to check out the structure of the temple. We want to check for two foundations. Look in the scriptures, it talks about how Nehemiah built upon the foundation. The second temple was built upon the foundation where the old temple was at, but the foundation of the old temple was gone, was flat. So we want to look for, we want to get with some people over there that maybe we can do X-ray or do MRI imaging to see what's under all these different structures, whether in Tel Arad or whether in Old Jerusalem by the city of David. Check these things out to see whether or not we have anything underneath the ground that looks like the foundation of the original temple. Because Psalms 137 tells us that it was raised down to the foundation, and that the children of Edom were helping the Babylonians. So when the children of Edom came by themselves under the Romans, they did the same thing. They did the same thing to the second temple, right? They tore it completely and totally down. All right. So we want to go over there and check out all these things, for ourselves, and we'll, keep everybody updated on, what we're doing as we're doing what we're doing over there. I'm very, personally, I'm very excited about it personally, that the Most High is allowing us, to have the courage to go from the Western Hemisphere and to go into the Eastern Hemisphere for long-term service to Him and to Yasha'Allah. It takes a different and strong type of spirit to just say, you know what, I'm going to go over there. But that's what Yahweh Shai meant when he said the highways and the byways. You see, when you hear Yahweh Shai saying something, take it to as far as you can take it. Go as far as he said, and he's going to give you your reward. He's going to give you your reward for what you do. Just do what he said to do to the best of your ability, and then go beyond those steps and go beyond what he said, and just do more and more for him, because this is the multiplying of your talents that he's given you. All right. So that's it. We want to remind you again that on this seventh day, which is the Shabath, now we in the Shabbat. Every 7 days is the Holy Sabbath, and we're going to come back and do a lesson for you about the Sabbath itself. All right, so we want to do that, and then we want to remind you that we're in the Shabbat, and also we're in the 25th day. We're in the 25th day of the 13th month. All right, 25th day of the 13th month, and we're 6 days away, 6 nights, and 6 more nights will be on the first day of the new year, 6 more nights from now. All right, and then 19 more nights from now, and 19 more afternoons will be have to observe Passover, the first day of the Passover, and then on that, after the 19th night is over, after the 19th afternoon is over, we go immediately into the 20th night from today, 20th night from right now, and that's when we're going to go into the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, got it? First day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So just mark your little calendar down, and write it out, and make your little notes and everything. So right now we have 19 more nights until we reach the feast of 19 more nights until we get into Passover, and then we have 20 more nights until we get into the first day of Chag Matzawa, the feast of unleavened bread. All right, so all praise to Yahweh, Bashem HaMashiach Yahushai. The new moon is the black moon, not the crescent moon. The Sabbath is determined by every 7 days. The Sabbath and the counting of the Sabbath is not connected to the moon. The moon determines the months, and you count the feast. And the evening and morning is how we count the days. All right, so we have to leave these pagan practices that were done by idolaters and people that were worshiping false gods. We have to leave these things behind and return to Yahweh and do things the way that he said to do it, which is the new moon is the black moon, and the Sabbath is counted every 7 days. Right, every 7 days is the Sabbath. All right, so may Yahweh be with you, and the Sabbath is from evening to evening, from sunset to sunset. All right, so may Yahweh be with you. In the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Shema Yasha Allah, Yahweh Allahayinawa, Yahweh Chad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. Yahbarakakam Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahushua. Yahweh bless you in the name of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach the Messiah. Shalom.